Let's talk about YouTube comments for a minute here. I've never done one of these talk to the camera YouTube videos, but it's worth a try. I had this video I took in Yellowstone, July 8th, I believe it was. I walking with my family along a paved trail between Old Faithful and Morning Glory. So just one of the most popular places at any national park. Hundreds, if not thousands of tourists on it at the time. Let's say hundreds. And it's a good, I don't know, is it a mile and a half, maybe something like that. And we're just walking along the asphalt, and then I hear some weird noise, like a snorting noise off to my left. I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then I see this bison come like a couple hundred yards away, way off in the distance. I pull out my camera, start recording it. You can hear it snorting, and I felt this sense of kinship with it. Like it had this frustration that was just kind of coming out in the air. And I'm like, man, that guy is upset about something. So he comes bouncing along and hits a little tree with his horns, stops a couple times and kind of looks around. He looked over at us from more than 100 yards away, and I'm like, is this guy going to come running right towards us? We're just kind of frozen there. There's nowhere to go. It's a pretty exposed area. I know he can run faster than me. So I turn my camera off, then he starts running again. I turn it back on, and then he just kind of keeps going off to my left. And there's a family there. There's a whole bunch of families there. And they realize he's running, so they're like starting to like move into the trees to get away from him. And then it picks out this little girl, chases her around the tree. The dad yells stuff. I'll maybe in my editing here, I'll pause and show you the video.
Oh dear. It's chasing the people. Oh dear.
Haley, stay there. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Get next to the tree. Get next to the tree and don't move.
Oh. That guy is PO'd.
Well, we can't leave now.
Here comes the other one though.
Oh shoot.
What are they mad about?
That was crazy. Sheesh.
And it was just madness. It was all over in a few seconds, and then the bison takes off, and then another one follows it. And at one point in the video, I was like, what is he mad about? And that has generated a lot of YouTube comments. I was just trying to figure out, like I didn't know at that time that it was most likely a fight over a female called the rut, and that the first guy had likely lost the fight, was frustrated about it. The second guy was gloating and following him. I know I'm anthropomorphizing bison here, but this is the way I understand it. So they, he had to take some frustration out. I presume realized it was, not worth taking out this little human. So it's real interesting how it just stops. Like it could have just plowed over her, stops, and then carries on his way. There was another, I think, female bison just sitting down at the river, another 100 yards the way that first bison took off. And then it was just kind of interesting to me that the second one followed him, kind of just like, hey, who's the alpha? Anyway, so that all happened. I ran up to that family right afterwards and met them and said, hey, I just got that on video. That was crazy. And the girl, was in tears. The boy was in tears. But they were already processing it, just like, that was so crazy. And these other tourists were there, like, you're going to remember this the rest of your life. And it was all actually like a crazy but positive experience. So I sent the video to him. I put it on YouTube. I'd maybe done one or two YouTube shorts in the past. The thing was only a few seconds long, so I'm like, and there's a horrible cell connection there. So I'm like, let me try just a YouTube short, and just thought that would be interesting. Anyway, threw it up there, didn't think too much about it. And then a few days later, it starts to get, got a bunch of views. It started to get spread around. It ended up on Hurons of Yellowstone, which is a channel I already followed. It's kind of a, I would say, kind of a preachy channel where they just post videos of what they see as tourist bad behavior, and a lot of it is bad behavior. I'm not criticizing that, but I kind of stopped following it because it's just so preachy. It's just like, you know, I don't know, people yelling from their cars, almost hoping that tragedy will happen so that they feel justified that these guys are idiots. I think the idiots, what's it called? The Invasion of the Idiots, which is a Facebook group, also picked it up. And then that got back to the family, and he contacted me. He's like, hey, your video's starting to spread. So I took it down for a while on my channel. It ended up being posted by Snoop Dogg, weirdly. Somebody added some footage from another viral video, some audio, I should say, of another viral video, and then that got posted by Snoop Dogg. Some different news outlets contacted the dad in the video, and he had a couple interviews, and then at a certain point he's just like, I just want this thing to go away. So he stopped taking those calls. But it was on Inside Edition, it was on Cowboy State Daily. I've seen that it's kicked around TikTok a bit, with lots of, you know, I don't understand TikTok, I'm too old for it, but a lot of commentary of people largely criticizing the family. But what I want to talk about are the YouTube comments. So pretty quickly I realized that they were going to be negative and very troll-like, and so I turned them off for a while. And some people need to comment so badly that they actually went to my other videos and said, why did you turn off comments on that video? Here's what I wanted to say about it. Some of them didn't even say what they wanted to say about it. They just wanted to express frustration that I had turned off comments. And I'm like, why do you need to comment so badly? Like, what is it that, like, why would it bother you to not be able to comment on a video? So I turned it back on, and then I turned on, YouTube has this kind of filtering of comments where they'll identify ones that are offensive or whatever their criteria is. I don't know. It seems to be if you say the word stupid and that's all you really say, those ones tend to get filtered out. Ones that are very obviously racist and very obviously just kind of cruel. I don't know if there's just keywords that they're looking for or what. But anyway, they filter out the majority of the comments. And so the comments I'm talking about are just the ones that make it through the automated filter, and they're just horrible. All sorts of people who are like, these parents do not deserve children. Like, that's kind of the overriding thing. Or the government should take their children away from them. Someone call Child Protective Services over and over again. I've deleted most of those because I just don't find that helpful or interesting. And I even put a pinned comment that's like, if you're about to say, call Child Protective Services, please understand some context here. Lots of people who do not want to know what actually happened. Like, there was a guy who literally said to me, doesn't matter what you say. Like, I'm kind of engaging with him and I'm trying to give him more context. And he goes, doesn't matter what you say. And I'm like, how can it not matter what I say? Your opinion that you've, developed in the 60 seconds you watched my video is so right that it doesn't matter. No additional information is allowed to come in and challenge that. It's just incredible to me. A lot of people want national parks to be shut down, that, this is Yellowstone's fault somehow. A lot of people side with the buffalo, which is fine. I'm sorry, buffalo, bison. I know they're bison. There's a few arguments about bison versus buffalo as well, but buffalo is just fun to say. And You Can't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd is a favorite song of mine. So there's a lot of those sorts of comments, that Yellowstone shouldn't allow this to happen. There's a lot of assumptions, I think, that bison are killing hundreds of people a year. So like, one guy said, I just want everyone to know that these 2 bison were humanely euthanized after this event. I'm like, no, they were not. There was no ranger there who tagged them and said, we've got to remember to kill these ones later. It's just starting to rain here on my video. A lot of people made fun of me, which is fine. I was the cameraman. And so I said, that guy is PO'd, and that's just how we talk in my culture, man. And so people are like, PO'd? That's a stupid thing to say. fine, whatever. And then I actually had one lady who on Instagram said, "Thank you to the fine young men in the video who did not drop a bunch of F-bombs." So at least one person appreciated that I said PO'd instead of bigger swears. What else do we have? A lot of people who were bothered that I said, "What are they mad about?" And so they're like, they're mad at you. They're mad at mankind. They're mad about bison slaughters from the 1800s. And I don't want to downplay any of those, but I'm pretty sure the bison are not thinking about that. I don't know how big their brains are, but it just seems really unlikely that he's like, I need to go avenge my people. A lot of people are bison experts in the comments, according to them, and so they're like, it's the red, it's the shirt that the girl was wearing, it's this or that. A lot of people are positive that it's because they were playing and that the bison meant no harm. Anyway, it's just so fascinating to me that all these people have such strong opinions and are so, they need to express it so badly. I just don't understand it. And they don't want anyone to challenge it. Most of them don't want to engage. And so I reply to the comments pretty aggressively, pretty readily. And I would say 95% of them don't ever reply again. Like even when they ask a question, they're like, where was this recorded? Or who did the recording? I'll comment and then I don't get anything back. But every once in a while I've had a couple people that I've had actually enjoyable conversations with where, they're like, why don't you just run? And I'm like, so it's like Usain Bolt's chasing you. Like, what's running gonna do? It's gonna buy you 2 seconds before whatever was gonna happen happens. And I would say 2 or 3 people I was able to kind of adjust the context that they had. One thing that is interesting is good seems to win out in the end in the comments. Like the comments that did take the side of the family and did express like how amazing the behavior was of the bison and how sharp the dad was to like go up against it kind of and to say something to his daughter. How readily the daughter listened. A lot of people are just kind of lamely saying the dad gave conflicting directions. He said, don't move, get next to the tree, don't move. You can't get next to the tree if you don't move. And I'm like, whatever. I'm sure you're just incredible in a crisis. I had one woman who was furious at me, the cameraman, and said, my husband would never just keep recording like that. He would go help those people. He would pick that girl up in his arms and whisk her to safety. And I'm like, wow, he sounds incredible. But anyway, what is it, us humans, that just have to express these kind of, I would say, hateful opinions for the most part, that we need to type it out, that we want the government to come in and do something and take away the kids? And one guy said they should get a $1 million fine for animal harassment and go to jail. And I'm like, what? Why? How would that help anything? Like, why is that our reaction? So that's all. I don't know that I'm trying to create a dialogue here, and I don't know that that's possible on YouTube with just me and my camera and just you and your comments, but I just wanted to talk through this a little bit and throw it on YouTube and see if it generates any interest at all. That's about it. Go check out the comments. I'll link to the original video if you haven't seen it. It's kind of fascinating to me. It's infuriating. It gets me riled up too easily. And then I'm like, none of these people know me. And they seem to have some other things going in their life. All right. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, I'm amazed. I doubt I'll ever have a video as cool as that in the future. You're welcome to subscribe if you want, but it's just going to be boring family outings and stuff. That's what this channel's always been. It has been around a long time. It's just never been that interesting to people outside my family. Best wishes, all of you. If any of the troll commenters listened this far, good on you. I wish you the best as well. See ya.